Emma Sinclair's water breaks at 2:47 a.m., alone in a penthouse worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. And the first thought that crosses her mind isn't about the baby. It's about the locked office door her husband forbade her to ever open. The contraction rips through her abdomen like a knife, and she reaches for her phone with shaking hands, Alex's name already queued up on speed dial. It rings once, twice. Voicemail. She tries again. Straight to voicemail. The penthouse is silent except for her breathing. Sharp, shallow, panicked. Designer furniture casts long shadows in the dim light. The nursery down the hall sits untouched, its crib still wrapped in plastic, because Alex said they'd set it up together, and then never came home. Emma scrolls through their text thread. Working late. Don't wait up. Sent 6 hours ago. No follow-up. No check-in. No how are you feeling, even though she's 9 months pregnant and her due date was yesterday. Another contraction. Worse this time. She needs him. She needs anyone. Emma's eyes drift to his home office, the one room in this entire 6,000 square foot prison she's not allowed to enter. There's a light on underneath the door. She saw it when she stumbled out of the bedroom. A light that shouldn't be on if Alex is at the office like he claims. She pulls herself up from the couch, one hand bracing her stomach, the other reaching for the door handle. It's locked. But she hears something inside, a woman's laugh. Not a recording. Live. And then his voice, I'll handle her. 18 months earlier. Emma Sinclair didn't believe in love at first sight until Alexander Grant handed her a champagne flute at the Metropolitan Museum Gala and said, "You're the only person here who looks like they'd rather be anywhere else." She'd laughed, genuinely laughed, for the first time in months. Is it that obvious? Devastatingly. His smile was disarming, the kind that made her forget she was surrounded by Manhattan's elite in a borrowed dress. I'm Alex. I know who you are. Everyone knew Alexander Grant. 34. Self-made billionaire. Tech empire built from nothing. Forbes cover 3 times over. I'm Emma. I teach 2nd grade in Brooklyn. That's infinitely more impressive than anything I do. He wasn't supposed to be charming. Men like him were supposed to be cold, transactional. But Alex spent the entire night asking about her students, her classroom, the book she was reading. He walked her to her Uber at midnight and asked for her number with the kind of nervousness that felt impossible for a man who commanded boardrooms. The courtship was a hurricane. Private jet to Paris for a weekend because she mentioned she'd never seen the Louvre. Handwritten notes delivered to her classroom. Her students squealed every time. Late-night phone calls that stretched until 3 a.m. where he talked about his childhood, his absent father, how building his company was about proving he mattered. You're the only real thing in my artificial world, Emma, he told her on a rooftop in Soho, the city glittering below them. Everyone else wants something from me. You just want me. 3 months in, he proposed. 10-carat diamond. Down on one knee in Central Park at sunrise, tourists filming. The whole cinematic spectacle. Her best friend Maya pulled her aside the next day. Emma, you barely know him. I know enough. You know the version he's showing you. 3 months isn't. I love him, Maya. Love or the idea of being saved. Emma had bristled at that. She didn't need saving. She was fine before Alex. But fine wasn't the same as happy. And Alex made her happy in ways she'd stopped believing were possible. The wedding was small, his insistence. I want it to be about us, not a spectacle. Just immediate family, a judge, and a reception at his penthouse. Emma wore vintage lace. Alex cried during the vows. Maya attended, but didn't smile in a single photo. The first crack appeared on their honeymoon. Alex spent half of Santorini on conference calls, apologizing profusely, but never actually hanging up. I'm sorry, baby. The Singapore acquisition is falling apart. I have to handle this. When they returned, he sat her down in the penthouse living room. I need to ask you something, and I need you to understand it comes from a place of love. Okay, I want you to quit teaching. Emma's stomach dropped. What? Mrs. Grant doesn't work. Mrs. Grant is taken care of. He took her hands, his grip firm. I make more in an hour than you make in a year. your salary it's not about the money, Emma. It's about time. Our time. I want to come home to you. I want to build a life that isn't split between us. Teaching is my life, Alex. I'm your life now. He said it gently, but there was steel underneath. Isn't that what marriage means? She quit 2 weeks later. Told herself it was temporary. Told herself she'd find something else, maybe volunteer work, maybe online tutoring. But the days blurred into each other. Charity luncheons, investor dinners, playing the role of the perfect wife beside the perfect husband. At a company event 6 months into the marriage, Emma noticed her. Vanessa Monroe, Executive VP of Operations. Tall, sharp-featured, wearing confidence like a second skin. She stood too close to Alex during his speech. Her hand lingered on his arm when she laughed at something he said. Who is she? Emma asked later, trying to keep her voice casual. Alex barely looked up from his phone. Vanessa? She's married to the job, not me. He kissed Emma's forehead. Don't be paranoid, baby. It's not attractive. The word stung. Paranoid. Emma got pregnant 4 months later. She'd hoped it would bring them closer. Instead, Alex seemed to retreat further. He was distant during the ultrasound, barely looking at the screen. That night, sorting laundry, she found a receipt in his suit pocket. Hotel room. Charged to his personal card, not corporate. The date matched a night he'd claimed to be in Boston for meetings. She confronted him in the kitchen, hands shaking. What is this? Alex glanced at the receipt, then back at his laptop. Investor meeting. The conference room wasn't available. Why is it on your personal card? I don't explain myself, Emma. His tone was ice. I built a billion-dollar empire. I think I can handle booking a hotel room without an interrogation from my wife. She'd never heard him speak to her like that. Like she was an inconvenience. Like she was nothing. Now 9 months pregnant and terrified, Emma stands outside his locked office door. The woman's laugh has gone silent. The light underneath the door flickers, someone moving inside. She pulls the emergency key from the kitchen drawer. The one Alex doesn't know she has, the one the building manager gave her when they first moved in. Her hands shake as she slides it into the lock. The door opens. The office is pristine. Leather chairs. Mahogany desk. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And his computer screen is still on. An email thread, open and glowing. Vanessa Monroe. Subject, timeline. Emma's heart stops. She steps closer, her pregnant belly brushing the desk edge, and reads the first line. Dissolution proceedings to begin 72 hours post-delivery. Patient will be categorized as mentally unstable postpartum per Dr. Reeves' evaluation framework. Another contraction hits, but Emma can't move. Can't breathe. She scrolls down. Another email. Subject, congratulations. Vanessa's response, 12 weeks today. This is the child I actually want. Thank you for understanding. Alex's reply. Emma served her purpose. Now, we move forward. The room tilts. Emma's phone vibrates in her hand. A text from an unknown number. I know what you found. Delete it, or you'll never see your child again. V. She looks up at the corner of the office ceiling. A camera. Red light blinking. Vanessa is watching. Emma's fingers move on instinct. Screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. The phone camera clicks as she photographs the email thread. Her hands trembling, so violently the images blur. Another contraction rips through her, 7 minutes since the last one. And she doubles over the desk, gasping. The computer screen goes black. Password protected. Locked remotely. No, no, no. Emma frantically tries to wake it. But the login screen just blinks at her, mocking. She yanked her phone up to check the screenshots. All black. Corrupted files. Every single one. Her cloud storage opens automatically, syncing, deleting, purging. She watches in real time as her backup empties itself. Photo after photo vanishing like they never existed. Someone has admin access to her accounts. Someone is erasing evidence as fast as she can gather it. The contraction passes and Emma spots it. A physical file folder on the credenza behind Alex's chair. Manila. Unlabeled. She lurches toward it, her swollen ankles screaming, and flips it open. Legal documents. Dense paragraphs of text, attorney letterhead at the top. Morrison and Blake LLP, Family Law Division. She scans the first page. Dissolution of marriage, mental incompetency clause, postpartum psychosis, as grounds for emergency custody transfer. Her vision blurs. This isn't a contingency plan. This is a script. Every step mapped out, every angle covered, every exit sealed. Another page, psychological evaluation template. Pre-written. Dr. Harrison Reeves, MD, Psychiatry. Notes sections already filled in. Patient exhibits signs of paranoid delusion, claims of marital infidelity without evidence, emotionally unstable, poses potential risk to newborn. She hasn't even given birth yet, and they've already diagnosed her as insane. Emma pulls out her phone, hands shaking, and tries to photograph the documents. Click, click. The flash reflects off the paper. A contraction, the worst one yet, slams into her like a truck. 5 minutes. They're 5 minutes apart now. She crumples to her knees, the folder spilling across the floor, papers fanning out like accusations. She can only grab one page. One piece of evidence. Her fingers close around a document with Vanessa's signature at the bottom, some kind of contract, and she shoves it into her jacket pocket before the pain becomes too much. Her phone rings. Alex. Emma stares at the screen, her thumb hovering over the answer button. Every instinct screams not to pick up, but she needs to hear his voice. Needs to know if this is real, or if she's actually losing her mind like the documents claim. She answers. But it's not Alex. Emma. Vanessa's voice. Smooth. Amused. Is this important? Alex is indisposed. The floor drops out from under her. I'm in labor. A pause. Then laughter. Soft, intimate. The laugh of someone who's already won. How inconvenient for you. He's in a meeting. I'll let him know when we're finished. Put him on the phone. I don't think you understand your position here, Emma. Vanessa's voice hardens. You're the past. I'm the future. And that baby? She's just the leverage we needed to make sure you disappear quietly. She's his daughter. She's a grant heir. That's all she needs to be. You're just the incubator who's outlived her usefulness. The line goes dead. Emma stares at the phone, her breath coming in short, sharp gasps. Vanessa answered Alex's phone, which means she has access to it. Which means every call Emma's made for weeks, maybe months, has gone through Vanessa first. She tries Maya. Voicemail. Her parents. International dial tone. They're in Greece. Unreachable. Another contraction. For minutes. Emma pulls herself up using the desk, her legs shaking, and stumbles out of the office. She needs to get to the hospital. She needs help. She needs someone to believe her before they take her baby and lock her away. The apartment is too quiet, too empty. The camera in the corner of the office is still blinking. Emma grabs her purse, her hospital bag, and the single page of evidence crumpled in her pocket. Her phone buzzes. A text from Alex's number. Stop making a scene. This is for the best. Sign the papers. What papers? Her phone buzzes again. An attachment downloads automatically. She didn't click anything, it just opens. A PDF. Legal document. Voluntary termination of parental rights. Pre-signed by a judge. Dated for tomorrow. All it needs is her signature. Emma's water breaks completely. Fluid soaking through her clothes, pooling on the marble floor. She runs. The Uber driver keeps glancing at Emma in the rearview mirror, his eyes wide with concern. You sure you don't want me to wait with you, lady? You look. My husband's meeting me there. The lie comes easily now. Emma presses her palm against the window, focusing on the cold glass, anything to distract from the contractions that are now 3 minutes apart. Her phone won't stop buzzing. Text after text from Alex's number, each one more threatening than the last. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Think about what's best for the baby. Sign the papers, Emma. Don't be stupid. She blocks the number. 2 seconds later, a new unknown number lights up her screen with the same message. They have burner phones. Multiple lines. This was planned down to every detail. The hospital emergency entrance glows like a beacon. Emma pays the driver with shaking hands, tips him everything in her wallet, and stumbles through the automatic doors. A wheelchair appears, a nurse with kind eyes and purple scrubs. How far apart are the contractions, honey? 3 minutes. Emma's voice cracks. Maybe less. The intake desk is a blur of questions. Name, date of birth, insurance information. Emergency contact. Emma hesitates, then gives them Alex's number. She needs a paper trail. Needs proof she tried to reach him. The nurse dials. Emma watches her face shift from professional to confused. Hello? Yes, this is St. Catherine's Hospital. We have Emma Sinclair in active labor, and the nurse pauses, listening. Her expression darkens. I see. And you are? Another pause. I understand. Thank you. She hangs up and makes a note on Emma's chart without meeting her eyes. What? Emma grabs the desk edge. What did they say? The woman who answered said Mr. Grant is in Hong Kong on business. She's his executive assistant. She said there must be some mistake, that Mr. Grant isn't married. The room tilts. That's not, I'm his wife. We've been married for over a year. I can show you. Emma reaches for her phone to pull up photos, their marriage certificate, anything. But her photo album is empty. Every picture of her and Alex, gone. Deleted remotely, just like the screenshots. Mrs. Sinclair, let's get you into a delivery room and we can sort this out later. No. Emma's voice rises. You don't understand. He's doing this on purpose. He's with her right now, his mistress, and they're trying to make me look insane so they can take my baby. The nurse's expression shifts. Pity mixed with concern. The look you give someone who's unraveling. Let's just focus on getting you and your baby safe, okay? The nurse's hand is on Emma's shoulder now, gentle but firm, the way you'd handle someone fragile. They wheel her to labor and delivery. The room is cold, sterile, too bright. Emma changes into a hospital gown with shaking hands, the crumpled legal document still hidden in her jacket pocket hanging on the door hook. A different nurse comes in, older, efficient. She checks Emma's vitals, hooks her up to monitors. The baby's heartbeat fills the room, rapid and strong. Beautiful heart rate, the nurse says, smiling. Then she glances at the chart and the smile falters. Mrs. Grant. Emma's blood goes cold. Yes. Your husband's office called earlier today. Yesterday, actually. The nurse's tone is careful, measured. They wanted to alert us that you've been experiencing some paranoid delusions. Stress-related. They said if you showed up claiming to be in active labor, we should contact Dr. Reeves immediately. Dr. Reeves? Who is? He's a psychiatrist on staff. Very good. He specializes in postpartum issues. The room spins. They called ahead. They prepared the hospital staff. They've been building this narrative for days, maybe weeks. I'm not delusional, Emma says, but her voice sounds desperate even to her own ears. I have proof. I took a photo. She grabs her phone from the bedside table, pulls up her gallery. Empty. She tries her email. Password incorrect. Her cloud storage. Access denied. The nurse watches with that same pitying expression. Please, Emma whispers. Just look at my jacket. There's a document in the pocket. Legal papers. It proves they're planning to take my baby. A contraction hits, the worst yet, and Emma screams. The monitors start beeping erratically. The baby's heart rate is dropping. We need to move, the older nurse shouts to someone in the hallway. Prep for emergency C-section. Baby's in distress. They're wheeling Emma out of the room, down a hallway that's too bright, too fast. She reaches for her jacket, but it's gone, left behind in the room. My jacket, the evidence. We'll get it later, honey. Right now, we need to focus on your baby. Emma tries to sit up, tries to fight, but another nurse is there with a syringe. This will help you relax. No, don't. The needle slides into her foreport. Warmth spreads through her veins, heavy and thick. You're going to be fine, someone says from far away. Dr. Reeves is on his way. Emma's vision blurs. The last thing she sees before the anesthesia pulls her under is a figure in the hallway, watching through the window. Vanessa Monroe, wearing a visitor's badge, smiling. And then everything goes black. When Emma wakes up, groggy and disoriented, there's a baby crying somewhere nearby. Her baby. She tries to sit up, but pain explodes across her abdomen. The C-section incision. A nurse she doesn't recognize is standing at the foot of her bed, updating a chart. "My baby," Emma croaks. "Where's my baby?" The nurse looks up, startled. "Oh, you're awake." "She's in the nursery. Dad's with her." "Dad." The word hits like a sledgehammer. "What?" Emma's heart is racing. The monitor's beeping frantically. "What do you mean Dad's with her?" "Where?" "Your husband came about an hour ago. He's been doing skin-to-skin contact. It's really sweet, actually. He brought his wife with him. They both seem so in love with the little one." His wife. Emma rips the 4 from her arm, blood spraying, and tries to get out of bed. The nurse lunges forward, hitting the call button. "Mrs. Sinclair, you need to stay in bed. You just had major surgery." "Where is my baby?" Security floods the room. 3 guards, 2 nurses. They're holding her down, restraining her while she screams. And through the chaos, through the hands pinning her to the bed, Emma sees him. Alex, standing in the doorway, holding a newborn wrapped in a pink blanket. Vanessa is beside him, her hand resting on his arm. They look like a family. "Emma," Alex says softly, sadly, like she's a wounded animal. "You need to calm down. You're scaring our daughter." Alex hands the baby to Emma with tears streaming down his face. "I'm so sorry." His voice breaks. "Emma, I'm so incredibly sorry." The baby, 7 pounds, 3 ounces, perfect, nestles against Emma's chest, and for one desperate moment, the world stops fracturing. She's real. She's here. She's breathing. "My phone died during the acquisition meeting," Alex continues, sitting on the edge of her hospital bed, his hand hovering near hers, but not quite touching. "I had it on silent, and when Vanessa told me you'd called, God, Emma, I got here as fast as I could. I broke every traffic law getting here." Emma wants to scream at him, wants to throw the water pitcher at his head, but she's too tired, too medicated, and the baby is making small mewling sounds that short-circuit every rational thought. "Vanessa said you weren't coming." Emma's voice is hoarse from screaming earlier. She laughed. She said, "I know. She told me." Alex runs a hand through his hair, and he looks genuinely destroyed. "She thought she was protecting me from distractions. She didn't understand. Emma, she's been trying to prove herself as VP, and she's overstepped boundaries. Badly. I'm handling it. Handling it. She's being transferred to the London office. Effective immediately." He finally takes Emma's hand, his grip warm and familiar. "I should have seen what was happening. The way she was controlling my schedule, screening my calls. I gave her too much access because I trusted her professionally, but she took advantage. That's on me." The apology sounds real. His tears look real. But Emma remembers the emails, the legal documents, the pre-written psychiatric evaluation. "Alex, I found papers in your office. Contingency plans." He cuts her off gently. "Emma, do you know how many people have tried to sue me? Extort me? I have legal frameworks for every possible scenario, including if something happened to me and you needed to protect our assets for a child. That's all those were. Worst case scenarios my lawyers make me prepare." It almost makes sense. Almost. And the psychiatric evaluation with my name on it, Alex's expression darkens. That was Vanessa's doing. She contacted Dr. Reeves claiming she was worried about you, that I'd confided concerns about your mental state. She fabricated everything. I've already filed a formal complaint. She'll be lucky if she keeps her medical license after I'm done. Emma looks down at the baby, their daughter, who has Alex's nose and Emma's dark hair. She wants so badly to believe him. "What's her name?" A nurse pokes her head in, smiling. "We need it for the birth certificate." Emma realizes they never agreed on a name. Alex had pushed for Vanessa as a middle name months ago. She'd refused. The argument had been their biggest fight. "Grace," Emma says firmly, watching Alex's reaction. "Grace Eleanor Sinclair Grant." Alex's smile doesn't waver. It's perfect. She's perfect. You're perfect. He leans in to kiss Emma's forehead, and she catches it, a smell that doesn't belong. Not his cologne. Something floral. Expensive. Feminine. The same perfume Vanessa wore at the charity gala, where Emma first met Alex. And there, just visible above his collar, when he leans closer, a mark on his neck. Dark purple, poorly concealed with makeup that started to wear off. Fresh. Alex pulls back, oblivious. I'm going to take Grace to the nursery, so you can rest. The nurses said you need at least a few hours before you can move around. No, Emma reaches for the baby, but her arms are weak, her body betraying her. Just for a little while, Em. You've been through major surgery. You need to recover. Alex is already standing, already cradling Grace in his arms like he's done this 1,000 times. I'll be right down the hall. I promise. He's at the door when he turns back, and his expression shifts, something colder, sliding behind his eyes like a mask settling into place. Oh, and Emma? There's a lawyer coming by tomorrow morning. Just some post-nuptial paperwork my legal team needs you to sign. Standard stuff for estate planning, protecting Grace's inheritance. You'll sign it, won't you? His tone is light casual. It's for her protection. You want to protect our daughter, don't you? He doesn't wait for an answer. Alex walks out with Grace, and Emma hears him in the hallway, his voice warm and animated. There's my girl. Yes, there she is. Daddy's got you. And then a woman's voice, low and pleased. She looks just like you, Alex. Vanessa. Still here. Not transferred. Not fired. Right outside Emma's room. Emma tries to get up to follow them, but the moment she puts weight on her legs, white-hot pain explodes across her abdomen. The C-section incision screams. She collapses back onto the bed, gasping. She presses the nurse call button. Once. Twice. 5 times. No one comes. The clock on the wall says 11:47 p.m. Emma stares at the empty bassinet beside her bed, at the door that's slightly ajar, at the hallway beyond where she can hear footsteps growing fainter. Her phone is on the bedside table. She grabs it with trembling hands. Still locked out of her accounts. Still no access to her photos, her emails, her cloud storage. But there's one new message from an unknown number. Beautiful baby. It would be a shame if something happened to her, because her mother wouldn't cooperate. Sign the papers, Emma. Last chance. V. The lights in her room flicker once, then go out completely. And somewhere down the hall, Grace starts crying. Emma wakes to fluorescent lights and an empty bassinet. The clock says 6:23 a.m. She's been unconscious for over 6 hours. Not sleep, something heavier, pharmaceutical. Her mouth tastes like copper and sedatives. The bassinet beside her bed is stripped bare. No blanket. No baby. No card with Grace's name and birth time. Emma rips off the blankets, ignoring the screaming pain in her abdomen, and staggers to the door. The hallway is quiet, the morning shift just starting. A nurse she's never seen before is updating charts at the station. Where's my baby? Emma's voice echoes off the sterile walls. The nurse looks up, confused. Mrs. Grant? You should be in bed. Where is my daughter? Your husband checked her out last night. With your consent. The nurse pulls up something on her computer screen. See? Right here. Signed release form, 11:52 p.m. Emma grabs the desk. I didn't sign anything. I was unconscious. The nurse rotates the monitor. There's a form with Emma's signature at the bottom. Looping, feminine, nothing like her actual handwriting, but close enough if you weren't looking carefully. There must be a mistake. Ma'am, I understand this is disorienting, but fathers are allowed to take their children home if the mother consents. Your husband said you were exhausted and agreed he should take the baby so you could rest. Hospital policy. Show me the security footage. Emma's voice is steel now. Right now. The nurse hesitates, then picks up a phone. I'll need to call my supervisor. Show me the footage or I'll call the police. 20 minutes later, Emma is in a security office watching grainy black and white video. The timestamp reads 11:47 p.m. Alex exits Emma's room carrying Grace in a car seat. He's not alone. Vanessa walks beside him, her hand resting on his lower back, intimate and possessive. They don't look like a boss and employee. They look like partners. They look like parents. At the hospital exit, Vanessa takes the car seat. She buckles Grace into a vehicle, a Range Rover, not Alex's usual Tesla. They drive away together. Emma's legs give out. Mrs. Sinclair? The security guard catches her arm. Are you all right? She's not all right. She's never going to be all right again. A knock at the office door. A man in an expensive suit, carrying a leather portfolio. Emma Sinclair? Who are you? David Morrison. Morrison and Blake Family Law. He sets the portfolio on the desk, opens it with practiced efficiency. I represent Alexander Grant. I'm here to deliver legal documentation regarding your parental rights and to facilitate a temporary custody arrangement. Emma stares at him. Temporary custody? She's my daughter. I gave birth to her 8 hours ago. Mrs. Sinclair, I understand this is difficult, but during your delivery, you experienced a severe psychiatric episode. You became violent, attempted to harm hospital staff, and required sedation. Dr. Harrison Reeves conducted an emergency evaluation and diagnosed you with postpartum psychosis with paranoid delusions. I never spoke to Dr. Reeves. You were sedated during the evaluation. For your own safety. Morrison slides a document across the desk. Official hospital letterhead. Dr. Reeves' signature. A full psychiatric assessment detailing Emma's delusional claims of conspiracy, her violent outbursts, her inability to distinguish reality from paranoid fantasy. Every word is a lie. Every detail fabricated. But it's official. Dated. Signed by a licensed psychiatrist. The court has issued a temporary custody order placing Grace Eleanor Grant in her father's care, pending a full psychiatric evaluation of the mother. You'll be required to undergo a 72-hour observation period at Mercy Hills Psychiatric Facility. No. Emma stands, swaying. You can't do this. I'm not crazy. They planned this. Mrs. Sinclair. Morrison's voice softens, and somehow that's worse. Resisting will only make things harder. Your husband wants what's best for everyone. If you cooperate, undergo treatment, and demonstrate stability, there's no reason you can't have supervised visitation rights within a few weeks. Supervised visitation? She's my baby. Actually, Morrison opens another document and Emma's world implodes. That's where things get complicated. He slides a marriage certificate across the desk. Alexander Grant and Vanessa Monroe. Married 6 months ago. Grand Cayman Islands. Legally filed, notarized, witnessed. Emma's hands are shaking, so violently she can barely read it. That's impossible. I married Alex over a year ago. You participated in a ceremony with Mr. Grant, yes. Morrison's expression is carefully neutral. Unfortunately, due to a clerical error at the courthouse, your marriage was never legally filed. The paperwork was lost in processing. Mr. Grant's attorneys discovered this during routine document review 3 months ago. The room is spinning. You're lying. I have the courthouse records here. Your marriage certificate was submitted, but never entered into the state database. Legally, you and Mr. Grant were never married, which means legally, Grace Eleanor Grant was born to an unwed mother currently suffering from a documented psychiatric condition. Emma's vision blurs. He knew. He knew it wasn't legal, and he didn't tell me. Mr. Grant only recently discovered the error himself. Bullshit. Emma slams her hand on the desk. He planned this. All of it. The fake marriage, getting me pregnant, the psychiatric evaluation. He wanted a baby, and he wanted me out of the picture. Morrison closes his portfolio. Mrs. Sinclair, these are exactly the kind of paranoid conspiracy theories that concern Dr. Reeves. No one is trying to hurt you. Your husband simply wants to protect his daughter from a mother who's currently unwell. His daughter? What about Vanessa? Ms. Monroe is Mr. Grant's legal wife and has petitioned to adopt Grace as her own. Given your current mental state, the court is likely to approve. The words hit like bullets. Vanessa isn't just the mistress. She's the wife. The real wife. And Emma? Emma was never anything but a womb. You have two options, Morrison continues. Sign voluntary termination of parental rights and accept the settlement. Mr. Grant is prepared to offer $5 million, or fight this in court, drain your resources, and ultimately lose while damaging your daughter's stability. Emma's phone rings. Alex. She answers on speaker. Emma. His voice is calm, almost bored. I assume Morrison explained everything. You destroyed my life. I gave you a year of luxury most people never experience. I gave you a child. And now I'm giving you an exit with dignity and money. He pauses. You were perfect for what I needed, Emma. The right genetics, the right temperament, the right naivety. But Vanessa is my equal. She understands how my world works. I'll fight you. With what? I control your bank accounts, your phone, your cloud storage. I have psychiatric evaluations, hospital records, testimony from a dozen staff members about your violent breakdown. I have lawyers on retainer who cost more per hour than you made in a year teaching. His voice hardens. You have nothing. I recorded everything. Alex laughs, genuine, delighted. With what device, Emma? I control your phone, your laptop, the security system. Even if you had recorded something, where would it be? Who would you show it to? Emma's mouth goes dry. Sign the papers. Take the money. Disappear. Or I bury you so deep your daughter will never even know your name. The line goes dead. Morrison stands. Hospital security is outside. They'll escort you to Mercy Hills for your evaluation. I suggest you don't resist. The door opens. But it's not security. It's Maya. She looks at Emma, at the lawyer, at the documents, at her best friend falling apart. And her expression shifts to pure rage. Get away from her. Morrison raises his hands. Ma'am, this is a private legal matter. I'm her attorney. Maya's voice is cold steel. And you just made your first mistake. Emma stares. Maya, you're not a lawyer, I'm a paralegal at Chun and Associates. Family law. And I've been documenting everything since the day you met that son of a bitch. Maya pulls out her phone, taps it twice. Including this conversation, which I've been recording since I walked in. Morrison's face pales. You want to play games? Maya steps closer. Let's talk about fraudulent marriage certificates. Let's talk about conspiracy to commit parental kidnapping. Let's talk about bribery of medical professionals and falsification of psychiatric records. She looks at Emma. You told me about the penthouse security system. The one Alex doesn't know you have admin access to. Emma's heart stops. The security system. The one she set up when she first moved in, before Alex took over everything. The one backing up to a cloud server he doesn't control because it's under her maiden name. Everything's recorded, Maya says quietly. Every conversation. Every email he read aloud. Every moment with Vanessa. All of it. Backed up. Time-stamped. Admissible. Morrison is already packing his briefcase. This meeting is over. Oh, it's just getting started. Maya blocks the door. Where's the baby? I'm not at liberty. Where's Grace Sinclair? Morrison's phone rings. He glances at the screen, and whatever he sees there makes him go white. He answers, listens, then looks at Emma with something almost like fear. She's at Mr. Grant's estate in Connecticut, with her father and Ms. Monroe. Get her back, Maya says. Now. Or we file kidnapping charges in the next hour. Morrison leaves without another word. Maya turns to Emma, and her expression cracks. I'm so sorry I didn't get here sooner. I've been calling for 2 days. Your number was disconnected. And when I finally track you down, she stops. We're getting Grace back. I promise. Maya, the evidence, does it really exist? Maya's smile is sharp. Every second of it. On a hard drive in your penthouse safe. Alex never changed the combination, did he? Emma almost laughs. Almost. The date we met. He's too narcissistic to change it. Then we get the drive, we get the evidence, and we bury him. For the first time in hours, Emma feels something other than terror. She feels rage. There's just one problem, Emma says slowly. If he realizes what I have, he'll destroy it. Or worse, she looks at Maya. He'll run. And he'll take Grace with him. Maya's expression hardens. Then we move fast. And we don't give him a chance to see us coming. Emma's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. You think you're so smart. But I've been planning this for 2 years. You were always going to lose. 2 years. Before Emma even met Alex. This wasn't opportunistic. This was engineered from the start. And somewhere in Connecticut, Grace is with the people who destroyed her mother's life just to get her. Emma refuses the psychiatric hold. She refuses the sedatives the nurse tries to give her. Refuses the wheelchair. Refuses everything except Maya's arm around her waist as they walk out of St. Catherine's Hospital 3 hours later. Emma moving like someone who's been gutted. Which, technically, she has. You shouldn't be walking, Maya says for the 5th time. I shouldn't be alive if I follow their rules. Emma's voice is flat, emotionless. Shock or rage or both. Where are we going? My apartment. You need rest before we. The penthouse. We get the hard drive now. Emma, you just had major surgery. You can barely stand. My daughter is with the people who tried to erase me from existence. I don't get to rest. Maya doesn't argue again. The Uber drops them at the building entrance. The doorman Marcus, who's worked there for 3 years, sees Emma and his expression shifts to confusion. Mrs. Grant? I thought you were. Mr. Grant said you were away. Family emergency. Did he? Emma keeps walking toward the elevator. Marcus steps in front of her. I'm sorry, ma'am, but Mr. Grant left instructions. You're not authorized to access the penthouse without his permission. Emma stares at him. It's my home. He said you might say that. Marcus looks genuinely apologetic. He had the locks changed this morning. New security protocols. I have to call him if you try to enter. Maya steps forward. Marcus, right? How much did he pay you? Excuse me. To look the other way while he changed the locks. To block his wife from her own home. How much? Maya pulls out her phone. Because I'm guessing it wasn't enough to cover the lawsuit we're about to file against this building for a legal eviction. Marcus shifts uncomfortably. I'm just doing my job. Your job is to protect residents, not help abusive husbands trap their wives. Maya's voice drops. Emma Sinclair has lived here for over a year. She's on the lease. And right now, she's going upstairs to get her things. You can either let her, or you can explain to a judge why you aided in theft and unlawful restraint. Marcus looks between them, then at the security camera in the corner, making a decision. I didn't see you come in, he says quietly, stepping aside. And the cameras are having technical issues today. They take the elevator to the 47th floor in silence. The penthouse door has a new keypad lock. Biometric scanner. The kind that costs thousands. How do we? Maya starts. Emma reaches into her jacket pocket and pulls out a small silver key. Emergency override. Building code requires it. Alex doesn't know I kept a copy. The lock disengages with a soft click. The penthouse is exactly as Emma left it, except it's not. Her wedding photos are gone from the mantel. Her books removed from the shelves. The nursery door stands open, the crib now fully assembled. But the bedding is wrong. Navy blue instead of the soft yellow Emma chose. Someone else's choices. Someone else's home. Emma moves through the apartment like a ghost, each room a fresh wound. In the master bedroom, Vanessa's clothes hang in the closet beside Alex's. Designer labels, size 2, everything Emma could never afford before Alex. Emma, we need to hurry. Maya is at the office door. Emma joins her. The office is exactly as she left it the night she went into labor. Computer off. Papers filed. No evidence of the chaos. The safe. Emma crosses to the bookshelf, pulls 3 specific volumes in sequence. The shelf swings open, revealing a wall safe. She enters the code, October 15th, 2023, the date she met Alex at the gala. The safe opens. Inside, passports, jewelry, legal documents. And, at the back, a small external hard drive in a waterproof case. Emma pulls it out with shaking hands. This has everything. If your security system was backing up like you said, yes. Video, audio, timestamps. 2 years of footage. Emma clutches it to her chest. 2 years. Which means... Maya, Vanessa texted that she'd been planning this for 2 years. Before I even met Alex. Maya's face darkens. Which means what we thought was a workplace affair was the actual relationship. And I was... Emma's voice cracks. I was the other woman. I just didn't know it. The realization hits like a physical blow. All those months thinking she was building a marriage, she was just a project. A means to an end. Alex never loved her. He loved Vanessa and needed Emma's genetics, her respectability, her naive trust. We'll sort out the timeline later, Maya says. Right now we need to leave before. Footsteps in the hallway. Multiple people. Moving fast. Maya grabs Emma's arm, but there's nowhere to go. The office has one exit, and whoever's coming is between them and the front door. The penthouse door opens. Alex's voice. Should be at the hospital, under observation. If she's here, she's violated. He appears in the office doorway and stops cold. Behind him, Vanessa. And 3 men in suits Emma doesn't recognize. Security. Private, not building. Emma. Alex's surprise lasts exactly 1 second before his expression smooths into something colder. You're in violation of a court order. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. This is my home. This is my property. You have no legal claim to it. His eyes drop to the hard drive in Emma's hands, and something flickers across his face. What are you doing in my safe? Getting what's mine. Everything in that safe belongs to me. You're committing theft. He nods to the security team. Gentlemen, please escort Ms. Sinclair from the premises. The men move forward. Maya steps between them. Touch her, and I'll have you arrested for assault. You're trespassing, Vanessa says from the doorway. She's wearing a cream cashmere sweater that probably costs more than Emma's car. Both of you. We have every right to remove you. Where's Grace? Emma's voice is steady despite the security team closing in. Where's my daughter? Safe. Alex's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Somewhere you'll never find her. I have full custody, Emma. Legal, binding, and supported by psychiatric evaluations from 3 separate doctors. You lost. Emma holds up the hard drive. This says otherwise. Alex's expression doesn't change, but Vanessa's does. Just for a second. Genuine fear flashing across her perfect features. What is that? Vanessa asks. Insurance, Emma says. Every conversation, every email, every moment you two spent planning to destroy me. Time-stamped. Recorded. Admissible in court. Alex laughs. Emma, you're not tech-savvy enough to have set up a recording system I wouldn't notice. You'd be surprised what I learned while you were busy underestimating me. Then by all means. Alex gestures to the hard drive. Show me. Emma moves toward the computer, but Maya grabs her wrist. Don't. Not here. Not with them watching. Wise advice, Vanessa says. Because if that drive contains what you claim, you've just committed illegal surveillance. One-party consent doesn't apply in New York when you're recording someone in their own home without their knowledge. Emma's blood goes cold. Every second on that drive, Vanessa continues, her smile widening, is inadmissible. And possessing it makes you guilty of felony wiretapping. So please, Emma, show it to a judge. I'd love to watch you get arrested for trying to prove I'm the criminal. Maya's face has gone white. She's right. If you recorded them without consent in New York, then the evidence is poisoned, Vanessa finishes. You have nothing. Again. Emma looks at the hard drive in her hands. 2 years of proof. 2 years of evidence. Useless. Alex steps closer, his voice soft and almost pitying. You should have taken the money, Emma. Now you've added breaking and entering, theft, and wiretapping to your psychiatric issues. I'll be requesting full termination of parental rights. Grace will never know you existed. Where is she? Emma's voice breaks. Please. Just let me see her. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. No. Alex's expression doesn't change. Security, remove them. The men grab Emma's arms. Maya fights back, but they're professional, efficient. They're dragging them toward the door when Emma screams. Dr. Reeves. Everyone stops. What? Alex turns back. Dr. Harrison Reeves. The psychiatrist who evaluated me while I was unconscious. Emma's mind is racing now, pieces clicking together. Except he didn't evaluate me. Did he? He signed a pre-written report, which means someone paid him, which means there's a paper trail. Alex's expression doesn't change, but Vanessa's hand tightens on his arm. Maya, who referred Dr. Reeves to the hospital, Emma asks. Maya pulls out her phone, scrolling. Hospital notes say he was requested by the patient's family as their preferred psychiatric consultant. I don't have family in New York. My parents are overseas. Then, who requested him? Maya looks up. Who has authority to request a specific doctor for your care? Your husband, one of the security guards says, then looks horrified he spoke. Alex's jaw tightens. I was concerned for my wife's mental health. I wanted her to have the best care. You requested a psychiatrist before I even went into labor, Emma says slowly. Before I had any symptoms. Before there was any reason to involve psychiatric care. Silence. You knew, Emma breathes. You knew Dr. Reeves would sign whatever you needed. Which means you've used him before. Which means there are other victims. Vanessa's face has gone pale. Get them out, Alex says quietly. Now. The security team hauls Emma and Maya toward the door. Emma is clutching the hard drive, her surgical incision screaming, her vision blurring with pain and fury. They're almost to the elevator when Maya's phone rings. She answers on speaker. Maya Chin? This is Detective Sarah Rodriguez, NYPD. We've been trying to reach Emma Sinclair. Is she with you? Yes, why? We need her to come to the precinct immediately. Dr. Harrison Reeves was just arrested on charges of medical fraud and falsification of records. He's named Alexander Grant as a co-conspirator. A pause. And he's willing to testify in exchange for a reduced sentence. Emma looks back at the penthouse door. Alex is standing in the hallway, his phone pressed to his ear, his face ashen. Vanessa appears beside him, and Emma can read her lips. What do we do? Alex's response is too quiet to hear, but Emma sees him look directly at her. And for the first time, she sees fear. Mrs. Sinclair? The detective's voice crackles through the phone. Are you there? I'm here, Emma says, not breaking eye contact with Alex. And I'm ready to tell you everything. The elevator doors close. But through the narrowing gap, Emma sees Vanessa grab Alex's arm and pull him back into the penthouse. And she sees him mouth two words. Get grace. 3 weeks later, Emma stands in a family courtroom watching her life reassemble itself piece by piece. Dr. Harrison Reeves sits in the witness box, sweating through his dress shirt, his medical license already suspended. He's testifying under immunity, and every word is a nail in Alex's coffin. Mr. Grant approached me 18 months ago, Reeves says, his voice shaking. He said he needed documentation that his wife was mentally unstable, predated psychiatric evaluations, diagnoses that could be submitted to family court if needed. And you agreed? Emma's attorney, a shark named Patricia Chun that Maya's firm connected her with, leans forward. He paid me $50,000. And he had leverage. Photos of me with a patient. Inappropriate relationship. He said he'd destroy my career if I didn't cooperate. Alex sits at the defense table, perfectly still, his expression unreadable. Vanessa isn't in the courtroom. She fled to the Cayman Islands the day after Dr. Reeves was arrested. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s named Justice Brennan, reviews the evidence with barely concealed disgust. The forged psychiatric evaluation. The fake marriage certificate that was deliberately never filed. The trail of payments from Alex's personal accounts to Dr. Reeves' offshore holdings. Mr. Grant, Justice Brennan says, I've been on the bench for 27 years. This is among the most calculated, malicious attempts to defraud a court I've ever witnessed. Alex's lawyer stands. Your Honor, my client maintains. Your client is facing criminal charges. This is a custody hearing, counselor, and the evidence is overwhelming. She turns to Emma. Ms. Sinclair, I'm ordering immediate reunification. Grace Eleanor Sinclair will be returned to your custody within 24 hours. Emma's knees nearly buckle. Maya catches her arm, squeezing. Furthermore, Justice Brennan continues, I'm ordering Mr. Grant to appear for criminal proceedings in 48 hours on charges of conspiracy to commit fraud, falsification of medical records, and attempted custodial interference. Bail is set at $5 million. Alex doesn't flinch. He simply pulls out his phone and makes a call. Bail posted in under 10 minutes. But Emma doesn't care about Alex anymore. She's getting Grace back. The reunion happens at Maya's apartment because Emma refuses to return to the penthouse. A social worker brings Grace, now 3 weeks old, bigger than Emma remembers, smelling like baby lotion and formula instead of her mother. Emma holds her daughter and sobs. Grace doesn't cry. She just looks up at Emma with dark, serious eyes, and Emma whispers, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you. But she has her now. She has her, and Alex is finished. The criminal trial moves fast. Alex's lawyers negotiate a plea deal to avoid prison time. He's bankrupt from legal fees. His company seized in civil suits from other victims Dr. Reeves helped him silence. Emma learns she wasn't the first. There were 2 other women, 2 other pregnancies that Alex terminated when the mothers became inconvenient. Emma gets a settlement. Not the billions, but enough. $2 million. Full custody. Restraining order keeping Alex 500 feet away at all times. It's over. Emma sits in Maya's living room one evening, Grace asleep in her arms, finally allowing herself to breathe. You won, Maya says softly. You actually won. Emma nods. She did win. Alex is destroyed. Vanessa is in hiding with criminal warrants. Grace is safe. Her phone buzzes. Email notification. No sender name. No subject line. Emma almost deletes it. Almost. But something makes her open it. A video file downloads automatically. Emma's finger hovers over play, and Maya leans over her shoulder. What is it? I don't know. She presses play. The video is dark, grainy, shot from a phone camera. A warehouse. Industrial district. Emma recognizes it, the waterfront near Red Hook. And then the camera pans and Emma's heart stops. Alex, tied to a chair, bloodied, his face swollen, one eye nearly shut. Vanessa steps into frame. She's not in hiding. She's not running. She's holding a gun. Hello, Emma, Vanessa says to the camera, her smile cold and perfect. Congratulations on your little legal victory. You took everything from me. So now I'm taking something from you. She presses the gun to Alex's temple. You have 12 hours. Drop all charges. Sign full custody of Grace to me. Leave the country and never contact her again. Vanessa's smile widens. Or I kill him. And before you think you don't care, know this. She pulls out a document, holds it up to the camera. Alex's will. Drafted 6 months ago, never revised. If he dies, everything, every asset, every offshore account, every trust fund, goes to his biological child with Vanessa Monroe. That's legally enforceable. His lawyers made sure of it. Emma's blood runs cold. If he dies, I inherit through the child I told him I was carrying. The courts will believe the will. And you? Vanessa laughs. You'll have nothing. Grace will have nothing. The $2 million you got? Tied up in probate for years while I contest everything. She leans closer to the camera. You wanted to play legal games, Emma? I'm playing for keeps. 12 hours. Bring Grace to the address I'm texting you. Alone. Or watch me pull this trigger and take everything you fought for. The video cuts to black. Emma's phone buzzes. A text with an address. Pier 41, Warehouse 7. Midnight tonight. Come alone or he dies. Then you lose everything. V. Maya grabs the phone. We call the police. Right now. And tell them what? That the man who tried to steal my baby is being held hostage? They'll investigate, they'll take time, and by then, Emma looks at Grace. If Alex dies, that will make Vanessa a sympathetic widow with a legal claim. She'll fight me for years. Grace won't have a college fund. Won't have stability. Won't have anything. You can't seriously be considering. I'm not losing her again. Emma stands, carefully placing Grace in the portable crib Maya set up. Her daughter is sleeping peacefully, completely unaware that her entire future hangs on what her mother does in the next 12 hours. Emma, this is insane. Vanessa is unhinged. She's desperate. That makes her dangerous. Emma meets Maya's eyes. I have to go. Then I'm coming with you. No. If something happens to me, you're Grace's guardian. Legal papers are in my bag. You're the only person I trust. Maya's eyes fill with tears. You're not saying goodbye to that baby. We're going to figure this out. Emma nods, but she's already calculating. Midnight. Pier 41. Alone. She opens her contacts, scrolls to a number she hasn't called in weeks. Detective Sarah Rodriguez answers on the second ring. Ms. Sinclair. I need your help, Emma says quietly. And I need you to trust me. She looks at Grace one more time. Whatever happens tonight, her daughter will be safe. Even if Emma isn't. The clock on the wall ticks toward midnight. And in the video still frozen on her phone screen, Vanessa's smile promises that this isn't over. It's never been over. Emma doesn't call the police. She can't risk it. She leaves Grace with Maya, kisses her daughter's forehead like it might be the last time, and drives to the address Vanessa sent. An abandoned fish processing plant on the industrial waterfront, all rusted corrugated metal, and broken windows reflecting the 3 a.m. moonlight. Her phone buzzes. Vanessa, come alone. I'm watching. Emma parks and walks through the bay door, her footsteps echoing on concrete still stained with decades of blood and brine. The smell hits her first, rot and salt and something chemical. Then she sees them. Alex is cable-tied to a metal chair in the center of the space, head lolling, face pulped with bruises. One eye is swollen shut. His Oxford shirt is torn, soaked with sweat and blood. When he sees Emma, something breaks in his expression. Shame, or maybe just fear. Vanessa emerges from the shadows near a rusted conveyor belt, designer coat over her dress, heels clicking on the concrete. She looks immaculate except for the gun in her hand and the wildness in her eyes. Emma Sinclair, Vanessa says, smiling. The teacher who thought she could play in the real world. Let him go, Emma says, her voice steadier than her hands. This is between us. Vanessa laughs, that same cold, crystalline sound from the phone. Between us? Sweetheart, you were never even in the game. You were the incubator. The temp worker who thought she got promoted to CEO's wife. She circles Alex like a predator. I did everything. I built his investor network. I restructured his failing divisions. I made Grant Industries what it is. And he promised that once you delivered, we'd phase you out quietly. Postnatal depression. A generous settlement. You'd disappear. But you had to fight, Vanessa continues, her voice rising. Had to get lawyers involved. Had to ruin everything with your pathetic recordings and your sob story. Alex tries to speak through split lips. Vanessa, please. She backhands him casually, and his head snaps sideways. Shut up. You promised me an empire, and now it's all frozen in litigation because of her. Emma takes a step forward. If you kill him, you get nothing. The will, the trust, it all falls apart if he dies during the investigation. I know, Vanessa says softly. I've had 6 weeks to think about it. In my condo. Watching the news, call me a criminal. Watching my life evaporate. She raises the gun, pointing it at Emma now. So I've revised my goals. If I can't have the empire, I'll take something else. Grace, Emma breathes. She's mine by right, Vanessa says. I earned her. I orchestrated everything. The courtship, the pregnancy timeline, the legal traps. That baby exists because of my planning. And now some nobody teacher gets to play mommy with my creation. The safety clicks off. Emma's heart is hammering, but she keeps her voice level. You were never pregnant. The pillow under your dress at the gala, I saw it shift when you laughed. Vanessa's smile doesn't falter. He never checked. Men like Alex don't verify, they accept. I gave him ambition, purpose. Someone who understood that sentiment is weakness and legacy is everything. She glances at Alex with contempt. You thought I loved you? You were a stepping stone with good credit. Alex makes a sound, half sob, half retch. The man who controlled everything, reduced to this. Here's what happens now, Vanessa says. You sign custody to me. You withdraw every charge. You disappear into whatever sad little life you came from. Or I kill you both. Take Grace from your friend's apartment before the police even find your bodies. And I'm on a plane to Singapore by dawn. I have passports, accounts, contingencies. Emma reaches slowly into her jacket. Don't, Vanessa warns, tensing. I'm not armed, Emma says. She pulls out a phone, not hers. A burner. I'm just showing you this. She holds up the screen. A recording app, active. Red numbers counting. For 17. For 18. For 19. I've been recording since I parked, Emma says quietly. Conspiracy to commit murder. Kidnapping threats. Fraud confession. Assault. It's all here, Vanessa. And it's uploading to a server you can't touch. Vanessa's face drains of color, then floods with rage. You stupid. The warehouse erupts with light. Sirens. Voices amplified through megaphones. This is the police. Drop your weapon. Vanessa spins, disoriented, the gun swinging wildly. Emma hits the ground. Officers are pouring through every entrance. Tactical beams cutting through the darkness. In the chaos, Vanessa makes her choice. She doesn't point the gun at the police or at Emma. She turns it on Alex. If I lose everything, she screams, you lose everything. The shot is deafening in the enclosed space. Alex jerks backward, the chair tipping, red blooming across his chest. Not his shoulder, his chest. Center mass. Vanessa is tackled by 3 officers before she can fire again, the gun clattering away. She's screaming, thrashing, incoherent with fury as they cuff her. Emma crawls to Alex. His eyes are open, blood bubbling at his lips. Paramedics are rushing in, but you can see it in their faces. The efficiency has become urgency, has become something else. Damage control. Emma, Alex rasps. Blood on his teeth. I'm sorry. I loved you. I did. But I loved the Empire more. I know, Emma whispers. She doesn't take his hand. Grace, he chokes out. Tell her. I won't tell her anything about you, Emma says. You don't get that. His eyes widen, pain, or maybe understanding. Then they go distant, fixed on something beyond the ceiling. The paramedics push Emma aside, but she already knows. She can see it in the way they move, the way one of them checks his watch and shakes his head. Alexander Grant dies at 3:47 a.m. in a pool of his own blood, mourned by no one present. 8 months later, Emma sits in the modest 2-bedroom apartment she shares with Maya, watching Grace take her first real steps. Not the penthouse, not the empire, but hers. The legal aftermath was a nuclear crater. Vanessa took a plea to avoid death penalty consideration. Life without parole for first-degree murder, plus consecutive sentences for conspiracy, kidnapping, fraud. She'll die in prison. Alex's estate dissolved into litigation hell, creditors, investigators, frozen offshore accounts. The $200 million Vanessa hid? Gone. Seized. Pennies on the dollar recovered. None of it reaching Emma. The will left everything to Vanessa's unborn child. Since that child never existed, the empire cannibalized itself in probate. Grant Industries was liquidated. The penthouse sold at auction. Emma got nothing. Not the money. Not vindication. Not even child support from a dead man's estate. She went back to teaching. Grace goes to Maya's sister during the day. Their apartment has stained carpets and a radiator that clanks, but the rent is paid. Emma's phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. I hope it was worth it. You destroyed everything for a baby who'll grow up poor. V. Vanessa, somehow, still has access to contraband phones in maximum security. Emma deletes it without responding. She's learned. Engagement is what people like Vanessa feed on. Grace stumbles into Emma's arms, giggling. She has Alex's eyes, that same sharp intelligence, but Emma is determined she'll never have his emptiness. Some nights, Emma lies awake calculating what Grace lost. the trust funds, the opportunities, the life she could have had if Emma had just signed, disappeared, let them win. But then she thinks about what Grace would have learned in that world, that people are transactions, that love is leverage, that cruelty is currency. Emma kisses her daughter's hair. Grace smells like baby shampoo and graham crackers, not like money or blood. "We're going to be okay," Emma whispers, though some part of her knows it's a lie. They'll never be okay, not completely. The trauma will echo. The poverty will grind. Grace will eventually Google her father's name and find the wreckage. But she'll also know her mother fought. Emma watches Grace play with a plastic cup, making it disappear behind her back, her whole face lighting up with the magic of it. Some victories don't look like winning. Sometimes you just get to walk away breathing. Emma closes her eyes and allows herself one moment of grief. For the girl she was, for the naive love she felt, for the future she'll never give her daughter. Then Grace laughs, and Emma opens her eyes. The empire is gone, but they're still here. It'll have to be enough